Cruise control. Less stress, better mileage, and smarter driving. One button at a time.
Traffic and more traffic in 6 minutes. Randy here's Randy Keith.
Welcome back to Mastering the Commute, your 6-minute traffic fix. I'm your host, Randy Keith. Episode 12, Cruise Control, the secret to smoother, safer driving. Cruise control, one of the most underappreciated tools in driving. Some drivers use it religiously, like myself. Others never touch it. But when it's used correctly, it can reduce traffic congestion, improve fuel efficiency, and actually make you a safer driver, especially when it comes to making smoother, more gradual movements. Today, we're going beyond the basics of cruise control. We'll talk about how cruise control reduces unnecessary braking and keeps traffic moving. The real safety benefit no one talks about. What happens to your reaction time when you stop working on the gas pedal? Adaptive cruise control, when it helps and when it can make you too passive behind the wheel. If you haven't used cruise control much before, this episode might change how you drive. Every time I get behind the wheel, I turn on cruise control. Why? Because it saves me fuel, frustration, and foot fatigue. Consistency prevents stop-and-go traffic. Smooth, steady speeds reduce the phantom jams we talked about in episode 2. Fluctuating speeds burn more fuel. Cruise control keeps it steady. Research by the U.S. Department of Energy shows that using cruise control can improve fuel efficiency by up to 14% on highways. When you're not constantly adjusting the gas pedal, you're making fewer sudden movements, accelerating more gradually, and reducing the need for hard braking, all of which lead to a more predictable traffic flow. With cruise control, you can rest your foot near the brake, making faster response time if needed. Less muscle fatigue equals better endurance, especially on long drives. A more relaxed driving posture helps prevent stress buildup, something that contributes to road rage and poor decision making. So here's one of my most memorable cruise control experiences. When my wife and I first moved to Florida in 2017, I had a gig in Atlanta, which is over a 6-hour drive on a Friday from Orlando. I was stuck with a rental car without cruise control on that drive, and I was not a happy camper. I remember being tense the whole way there and back, and that didn't even include the stress of getting pulled over for speeding. Thankfully, the Georgia State Trooper let me go since I was going 87 miles an hour, still far lower than the real speeders at over 90 on that stretch of I-75. Speaking of speed numbers, most people think cruise control is only for long highway drives, but the truth is it works in most vehicles, even at speeds as low as 30 miles per hour. Now, personally, I use it on almost any road that is not a residential street. It helps me manage speed fluctuations, reduce unnecessary braking, and maximize my fuel efficiency. In fact, I consistently get 38 miles per gallon in my Kia Rio, which is a subcompact gas vehicle, and cruise control is a big part of that. On our YouTube channel, at Mastering the Commute, I'm posting a video featuring cruise on a main street that goes through my Orlando suburb at about 40 miles per hour. You can find the video link in the show notes. Adaptive cruise control, friend or foe? Newer cars now have adaptive cruise control, ACC, which automatically adjusts your speed based on the vehicle in front of you. In theory, this is great. No more turning cruise control on and off in traffic. Now, how does it work? Unlike standard cruise control, adaptive cruise control adjusts your speed based on the car ahead. Pros of ACC, it reduces the need for braking and hence driver fatigue in moderate traffic. It can help prevent tailgating by maintaining a safe following distance. The cons, some systems are overly cautious and slow down too much, which can be a little annoying. Also, relying on ACC too much can make drivers too passive. If you've ever driven a Tesla, adaptive cruise along with lane assist is a very similar experience. If you haven't had this experience, it's like having autopilot on the ground, and it does take some getting used to. I have driven ACC just a few times on my mother's brand new Kia Niro, and even I am not a huge fan, at least just yet. Your best practice, if you have adaptive cruise control, practice it and learn how to use it before just jumping into it and being confused on the road. Don't rely on it completely, stay engaged, and override it when necessary. Cruise control isn't perfect for every situation. Avoid it when you're in stop-and-go traffic. Cruise control is great for open roads, but in heavy congestion, it can make you less reactive. Also, when weather conditions are poor, in rain, ice, or snow, wet roads reduce traction and cruise control may not react quickly enough. Also, you want to avoid putting yourself in the situation where you have to step on the brake so that you can prevent skidding in rainy conditions. And on hilly terrain, standard cruise control struggles with steep inclines and can cause unnecessary braking downhill. In fact, here's a tip. If you're using cruise or even decelerating slowly in heavy traffic when there's a light or red lights up ahead, make sure to at least tap, not slam on your brakes, just to give a visual warning to the drivers behind you that traffic is about to slow. While heavy braking can cause phantom jams, going slower than expected without seeing brake lights can be misleading to other drivers, especially ones who speed. So if you're under the speed limit and you see traffic coming up behind you, always keep in mind that you want to communicate with the drivers behind you and around you as best as possible. Here are some wrap-up thoughts and homework for your next drive. If you rarely or never use cruise, challenge yourself to engage it even just for 10 to 15 minutes on your next long drive. If you do typically use cruise control, but not necessarily on surface streets, try it on your next drive when you're on a road over 50 miles an hour and not too many traffic lights. Utilize cruise control to stay relaxed and keep your foot in a better position for quick reactions. Let me know. Do you use cruise control regularly? Have you tried adaptive cruise control? Send me your thoughts at freewaytrafficexpert@gmail.com. Check out our traffic resources site at drivesmarternow.com and subscribe to our social media at Mastering the Commute on Facebook and YouTube. Follow us, leave a review, and please share this episode if you found it useful. Next episode, we're reviewing the highway numbering system. From interstate highways to county and farm roads, we'll uncover and demystify all those seemingly random numbers and signs. Until then, drive safe, drive smart. Lead by example, take these tips to heart. Pay attention, read the signs. Make the road better, one drive at a time.